It's Alexander Dahl with Manifest Brutality. After some time, it has been several months since the last time I did one of these videos. The reason being, as I stated in one of the last videos I did, I don't want to just be a talking head, just talking philosophy about music. I wanted to gear this channel and its production schedule more towards actually having videos to put out. So with the quarantine coming to somewhat of an end, even though it's most likely going to come back, I've decided to go ahead and try to put out some feelers for interviews, and I do have several scheduled, but today I have one as well. So I put out a request for musicians that would like to be interviewed. One of the guys that responded back is JDC KID. He was a good guy to talk to, had a lot of good philosophies and general attitude, and I did an interview with him. So without further ado, I'm just gonna let that play, and I'll upload another interview in a week or so when I have the next one. All right, bye. All right, I'm here with Jonathan Crusoe. He's one of the people that reached out to me about getting my interview project going again. Jonathan, why don't you say hello?
Yo, yeah! How's it going, people?
Is there something else you'd like to be called other than Jonathan, or can we just go with that?
JDC KID.
JDCK.
KID.
KID. Okay. Yes. JDC KID.
Yeah!
There we go. All right. That'll be another thing. You'll have to send me like your social media tags and everything so I can help promote you and everything.
Oh, I already did
that. So basically, where I like to start with these interviews is where did you start? What got you into music? What stuck out to you and made you think that's what I want to do?
Wow. And that is a great way to start. It all started when I was a little baby, I guess. I was just a music baby. Every time I see music, I always moving around, dancing. I love to dance. But going all to like when I was 6 or 7 years old, we used to have these magazines, these Looney Tune magazines that we would have. And I went through them one day. And this is where, now I know how to read. I finally know how to read. And I went across to this page. And it was my favorite page to look at because it just had like these cartoon characters that were, like us, but kind of like, have style and whatnot. They had like name tags as the names and whatnot. And then they had like the story thing. And what I was in the process of trying to learn how to make a piano because I always wanted to have a piano. So now I was doing researches of how to make one, and I couldn't really understand it. So this page, it was showing me how to make an instrument, and it was like a tin can with a pencil and a string attached to it, something simple. And just dangling down and then make sounds out of it. I'm like, oh, okay, something simple. So then I start reading this article, and it finds out that it was a story, but it was rhyming. And then after I read all that, it took me to doing your own project. Okay, make a name for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then write a little story about your hobby or whatever and let it rhyme. There's your first song. And I was like, huh,
mm-hmm.
Really? Huh. So my first song, or my first rap, I should say, that I made up was called Baseball.
Okay.
And it was because I played baseball when I was a little kid. I was in a little league. And I remember my first baseball team, I was in Weber Park,
mm-hmm.
Minneapolis. which was where I grew up at.
Okay.
And I was talking about baseball, and I was rapping over a mixed sports CD
Sure.
that I had, and it made history there. So I thought of a name myself. I was like, what would be my name?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at these characters, and it had something like Vanilla J and all these generic names,
Sure,
LL, D Cool, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was thinking, they got these letters. Jonathan Derek Crusoe. I guess JDC. That's a great tune to it. JDC. What describes me? I'm a kid.
Sure.
JDC Kid. JDC Kid.
Yeah, that works.
JDC Kid. So I took up with that. And I just had it written all capital letters. And that's how it always is. All capital letters, JDC.
So when you identified this persona that you wanted to take on, did you like start coming up with beats yourself? Did you go through a process of working like with other bands, and eventually you're just like, no, I want to do the JDC Kid, and that's just what you roll with? Like, what were the steps that you went through from that like point of inception to like actually producing music?
Oh man, well, that's a great story, because that definitely leads on to the next step too, to my story. I had a friend. His name was Marius. He has a big brother named Darius.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I went over to their house, and I saw Darius. He was on his program, and he started doing beats, and I looked at it and I was like, "Are you making beats?" He's like, "Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm making beats. I do music. I make music." I'm like, and this is where I finally know that we finally got a computer and stuff like that.
Sure.
We got into the internet.
When like home studios became affordable.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So he was like, here's the website. So he gave me the website, and I went straight home.
Mm-hmm.
And I started downloading it, and I started, and the program was called Hammerhead Rhythm Station.
Okay.
I started playing with that, and what that program is basically just loops. So I'm playing with loops and everything, and this is why I'm getting older. I'm like 8, 9 years old now, and I'm starting to know how to work on computers, recording things. And how I started recording things was I just recorded outside. Like, I would record myself singing, and like the normal recording station that we would have on Windows only lasts like a minute.
Right.
So I would do like minute recordings here, on outside. Okay. I didn't know how to record inside the laptop, only the noise outside. So I would do that. Long story short, I would. Then it got me to doing Windows Movie Maker, and all that. So that's how I know how to record each sound, put them together. Just like part 1, part 2, part 3, and making a full song. That's how I done it.
So you kind of never stepped through the process of like auditioning band members or anything like that. You kind of organically grew your entire project on your own to the point where you went through the creation process and all the way through the production process. Obviously, as you described, through many years. But you've kind of homegrown that entire thing and your entire persona and personality behind the JDC Kid, like without any sort of tampering from like outside influence.
Yes. My persona back then was like this wacky, cartoony kid, full of energy, and like to make songs for kids and grown-ups, where people like feel kind of like a kid again, or just to make them like it. But then when I got older and I started going to high school and stuff like that, and it just kind of grew. And of course, I already knew who Prince was. I've been listening to Prince since,
of course,
I was little.
Well, we're in Minneapolis. It's hard to step a few blocks without Prince. Yeah.
Exactly. And I finally, in my favorite song, there was Delirious. Okay. Because when I was little, every time I hear that song, I had my mom replay that song like over and over again because I had a paddle, and I would paddle with the beat and run around a table with the song. But then when I got older, I kind of found out about the movie Purple Rain, so I finally watched it, and my perspective was like, I want to perform at First Avenue. That's my dream.
Yeah.
Perform at First Avenue.
Yeah, that's kind of the local dream for a stepping stone.
Yeah. So, like, I just went from, like, persona, like, as a kid, from, like, this wacky kid guy, like, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type of deal, to a little bit of Michael Jackson and fashion and all this stuff. And I'm still that. So, like, that kid performer, that kid persona that's still in me, the fashion that's still in me. But now a true calling is, especially since Prince died. And it kind of grew over because I didn't really care what people say about me. And I was always like that even before Prince died.
Okay.
I was like this guy that, what's the word, that kind of stuck out to people and kind of help people out, kind of inspire people. I've been inspiring people with my music. People are like, man, I love your energy, and you've been helping me through and everything. You inspire me and all that stuff. So I was like the inspiring person.
Let's talk about the video that you sent me for Can't Stop Me. So is that one of your more recent productions?
Video wise, that is my second music video.
Okay, so one
of the technical of my third, but that would be like kind of my recent one that people really like, that you can visualize. That was like 2 years ago.
Sure. So one of the major thing that stands out to me about that video is something that I kind of promote on my channel, about how the landscape of the music industry has changed to the point where it's no longer like sex and drugs that sell music, it's personality. Like, there's so much oversaturation of music out there. People can pick and choose whatever they want to listen to. So the thing that makes it stand out and makes it sells is personality. And in that video, you deliver a lot of personality. It's very refreshing.
Thank you. I always tell people, be yourself.
Absolutely. So, like, what was kind of like the production process for that? You mentioned that you kind of record videos on your own, a minute at a time. So did you go through that whole video? You recorded every bit of it yourself, and you picked out the locations and everything and just went at it with a video recorder?
Now, I'm not going to take all credit for that video.
Okay.
I mean, I did most of it, but I had some help because, obviously, I did need help. I would like to have some help, especially for some of the scenes. I mean, I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a music video for this. Let me see if anybody are available to help me out. And, of course, some people helped me out. One of the guys, the cop that was in the music video, his name is Ezra.
Okay.
True fact. You know New Power Generation, right? The drummer for it, Michael Bland,
Sure.
that's his uncle.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to have little connections
Michael
like
Bland
that.
is his uncle.
Cool.
Yeah.
So tell me
Yeah.
about like the interactions that you had kind of creating that video, and then also kind of producing your songs and stuff, because obviously you've had to interact with other people while you've been making this music and stuff. So you know, there's always going to be a give and take and a balance between positive interactions and negative interactions. So tell me about some of like the difficulties and some of like the like inspiring moments that you've been through in creating your own persona and personality.
Well, it all starts off with life. Whatever that you're going through and
Indeed.
stuff, and conquer everything, you start to make it positive. And, you know, if it knocks you down, you always got to get back up, and it makes you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, inspirations is always celebrities. Always inspire me. Michael Jackson, Prince,
Mm-hmm.
all these great noise and sounds, especially, you know, through, like, music, like actual music, like stuff like from the 70s, 80s,
Mhm.
90s, a little bit of early 2000s. Now this generation, no. But even people,
Mm-hmm.
people, and I'm talking about basically people that been kind of, I think, kind of negative in my life,
Sure.
really impact the way I am in my music. And it's just, even like going outside in nature,
Mm-hmm.
just any sounds that I hear kind of stuck out to me of what I like in
Sure.
my music. How do I get that sound? YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
also just researching how to get this sound, how to do this, training my ears,
Mm-hmm.
and most importantly, going to go see live music.
Of course.
Actually,
yeah.
live music has been helping me with perspective of sounds.
Sure. Absolutely.
But I don't just go out there just to listen to great music and have a great time, but I kind of do go out there to train my ears,
Mm-hmm.
to study the setup, and also to meet great musicians, to see if
Yeah.
I can get some type of connections.
Yeah.
And
It's been really hard these
Yeah.
past few months not being able to like actually go out to shows, and everything's been so fucked up the past few months.
which I do need to book my book. I need to start booking shows.
Yeah.
The first show and the last show that I done for myself
Mm-hmm.
was actually on May 31st,
Okay.
which is 2 days from my birthday.
Sure.
And it was at the Poorhouse, but it was at the Hideout Poorhouse in downtown,
Okay.
which is a small area.
Yep.
And it's my first show. It's not going to go well.
Right. Right.
You know, the open mics that I've been to, which is most of the shows I always go to, open
Mhm.
mics,
Sure.
were better than my shows.
Yeah. It
But-
happens.
I need to start booking shows like
Right.
to venues like, I don't know, you could probably think of some like Honey, all those ones.
You know,
These shows.
it really kind of depends, because a lot of it really matters about what equipment you're bringing on stage. So like, you know, if you're going up there with just a laptop, like, you know, plugged into the PA system, you really don't need that big of a venue. But if you're bringing on even a couple instrumentalists, you know, your needs change depending upon like how much stage space you need to take up.
Yeah, but I need as much space as I can for stage, because when it comes to me moving around,
Sure.
I'm all over the place.
Right.
So like and it's like, you know, when I was performing at the show for my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
the stage itself, it was like, I hope I have room. Like, there's this couch right next to me. The booker, he told me that I can get that moved out. Just have to have the security guards or the bouncers to take it out.
Sure.
And it was horrible, because when I was there and I was asking the people about the couch, they said, no, we can't move that.
Ah, shit.
We can't do it. It's unmovable. I'm like, how? I'm looking at the couch.
It's unmovable.
And my guys are with me.
Mm-hmm.
The people that was helping me out, they lifted up a little bit. It was like, yeah, we probably need some people to help.
Sure.
They wouldn't do it.
So describe for me what your like shows kind of look like. Is it just you on stage? Do you have like a couple hype people with you? Like what does your show look like?
Just me.
Just you? Okay.
For now.
Sure.
For now. And of course, I always like to have my audience to be engaged.
Of course.
I don't want people to like, and it happens most of the time when I perform. You know, I'm looking at other people performing too on open mics, and people are engaging. But then when I come up, it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I get off the stage, people are going to me, and it's like, whoa, that was amazing. I never heard anything like that before. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I kind of get mixed signals of that because it's like I kind of want people to be engaged with it. That way it gives me more energy to do a lot more. You know, the audience speak more than I do.
It's really tough to kind of gauge how somebody's going to come at you because, you know, some people may have valid, like, constructive criticism, and those people are people you've never met, and they want to support you through criticizing you. Other people could be like your closest friends, and they'll just, you know, talk shit about what you do simply because they're jealous that they're not doing it, even though they have just as much opportunity to do it. Especially now that, you know, recording music is cheap. It's all about the personality and the creativity you put into it. And it's just so complicated to determine how somebody's going to come at you. But it's really nice when you do get that positivity. So, do you like put out and digitally publish any of your works, like through DistroKid or TuneCore or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure did. Make sure that so I can get some exposure.
Yep.
Because my CD, my album, Hear Me Roar, is actually my very, 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 very first album I finally ever put out.
Okay.
After all those years.
Okay. And you did it through DistroKid, so it's available on like all the digital platforms and everything?
It is available on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and I think those are all the ones that I know for sure.
Okay.
That they are on.
And that's under the name JDC KID.
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
And the album is called Hear Me Roar.
Okay. I'll look up links for it so I can put it in the description for this interview. I guess that's kind of all I have for you at the moment. I want to give you the chance to plug your social media stuff, like your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube, and then I always like to give the artist that I interview the last word. So why don't you do your plugs and then give me your last word?
All right. So, kiddos and kidettes, check me out on YouTube, JDC KID, social media. We'll start with social media. You want to get connected to me, go to JDC KID1 for Instagram, and check me out on Twitter, JDC KID3. Also, you can check me out on TikTok, JDC KID1. Also have merchandise available. Just go to shop.spreadshirt.com/ultrawear/. It's long, but of course you probably got it recorded, so you can definitely replay that. What else? Also Facebook, my fan page, my artist page, JDC KID. So if you want to like be really quick about it, just type in JDC KID on Google. I'm pretty sure most of my social media will be right there. You just check me out right there. So, yeah.
All right.
But the final word that I have, you know, when you listen to my music, there's so many things that I talk about, and nobody knows what genre I am. I am my own genre, but my music just say, be yourself and be the best you. Don't even for you. Don't worry about what people think about you. Don't worry about that at all. Be yourself, and you'll be surprised of how many people that you will lose in your life. Which that's actually a great thing. It's like a plant. You have all these weeds surrounding the good plant, and you need to take them all out just to get that small portion. If you have a small circle of friends, or you have one, that's fine. That's actually a great thing. I want to have like 3 people that is able to support me and, you know, want me to be in their life, than to have 1 million people loving just the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you have 3 trillion people that live in this world. You don't think that one person loved you for you? So that's the way I always think of life. And you know, you just have to love yourself more than you love others, because that's one thing too that, especially with this time going on, a lot of people are kind of depressed and lonely because they want that comfort. And I sometimes have that vibe, that little feeling, but that Gemini part of me, especially my alter ego, always come and tell me, dude, you have yourself. Don't worry about other people.
Mm-hmm.
You have yourself. You love you. And that's the, it's like, if there's a person that needs money, and you tell them that, yeah, I'll give you it. How are you going to give them the money if you don't have it? See, that's the same thing with love. You have to have a lot of love for yourself before you love others. Because if you have no love for yourself, you're going to love this person, but then you want so much back that you're draining all that energy from that person. Now they don't want nothing to do with you. So, but life is a movie, and life is your destiny. You just have to choose how you want it. If you want something real bad, go for it. That's what I got.